All right, we're live.
Good evening, everyone. How you doing? I know it's cold outside. We're trying to stay in with the heat. I appreciate you coming out. This is our second community meeting pertaining to the feasibility study that we conducted for the district. We're planning on having another meeting in January. We just don't know the date yet, but I just want to give you a heads up that we're going to have another one in January. That'll be our third one. Again, thank you all for coming. I thank Ms. Barksdale, which is the principal of DM Smith, for having us today and making sure that we have all the heat and the chairs and we spaced out correctly. Thanks everybody for being safe, wearing your mask and all spread out. As you know, we're trying to do something to help the district and the community out pertaining to our schools. And I prepared a few slides for you to review, and we'll talk through some of this, all the stuff that's on the slides. And all right, let's talk about some things about the district. We have our mission, our vision, our mission, and our core values, and our 7 fundamentals of a successful Wolfpack. All of this came about. It took us from June of last year until January, February of this year that we were working on it. It took us a while to make all of this up. It just wasn't me, it was the principals, the department heads, everybody was doing and putting in work. We put in over 30-something hours of work to come up with our vision, our mission, and our fundamentals. So this wasn't something that just came about, that came out of my head. It was a team effort. Everybody in here, everybody in the district that was in the leadership teams, they helped out, and they came about. And it was presented to the board, and it was approved by the board for approval. Our goals. Goal 1, student achievement. We really want to focus on that. Positive culture, community engagement, and employee retention. Those are 4 really, really important goals for us as a district. We really need to have that to happen so we can move forward. So, our presentation objectives for today: be informed of the building conditions and be informed of the recent survey results. I know some of you probably were very irritated. How many of you got like 2 calls from the district? Like, for a survey? 2 calls?
It was more, but I wasn't.
It was more?
I got more than that, but I wasn't irritated. It's an important message.
Who got more than 2? Okay, like 200? Okay, let me give you the reason why you got so many messages. Because we were trying to get a really good sample size. So we did not want a small sample size to get the numbers, because if you get a small sample size, the numbers are kind of skewed. So we were trying to get a really good number of people to complete the survey so we can have some really good information to share out. That's why we kept sending it out. So, what has occurred since the last time we met? First time we met, this is our second time. So since the last time that we met, I have visited 3 different districts pertaining to bonds and building things. And where did I get all this information from? I had requests doing the survey. Through the survey, I read through all the responses and went and visited all these different places. So I really want to give you an idea of how these different districts are doing different things. I had a request, somebody said, go visit Clarksdale. They said, go visit Clarksdale. They just built a brand new football, right? Has everyone seen the brand new football stadium that Clarksdale has built? They just got finished with it. Well, Clarksdale, the superintendent took me on the tour. Clarksdale built a brand new football facility that cost $7.5 million. It was $7.5 million. They passed a bond for $8.5 million. So that was the football field, concession stand, a weight room, and that was it. No parking lot. So that was $7.5 million. So they passed the bond for that. I believe that the superintendent said that they took the other money and they had to fix some buildings, they had to fix some roofs. Which, you know, if you pass $8.5 million, you spend $7.5 on the football, that means you don't have $1 million left. All right? So in Canton, Superintendent took me around in Canton. Canton has a different structure than we have. Why? Because they have a lot of revenue that they get in. You know, they have Nissan, right? They get this money from Nissan. But what he also told me is that they have Amazon coming. So there's an Amazon that's coming in Canton as well. So what Canton did, they took cash that they had and they built some things because they were getting all this other money from Nissan. So they built some things with cash on hand. And then they passed a bond to do a 9th grade academy and 2 very small elementary. So they had a lot of cash on hand. And to give you an idea for us, our cash on hand right now, our district has about $7 million and some change in our reserve. This is all public record. This is all public record. So we have about $7 million and some change, which is not bad. But to give you an idea how much a school costs, a school, if you built a high school, it would be $40-some million. That's just the school alone. So when somebody asks me, they say, why don't you just build one? We don't have the money to build a school. We don't have enough. We just don't have the capital. In Jackson, they passed a bond for $150 million. So they were replacing buildings, they were refurnishing things, refinishing things, and there really was a push for science labs. Really did a lot of push for science labs, especially in the high school. So they did a lot of that, refinishing gyms. So there's a lot of refinishing, but I think they're building a couple things in Jackson. I think so. So I went to those 3 because some of that information was in there. Also did a survey to the community. Also had a meeting with students at the high school. So I think that's part of what we have not been talking to. The kids at the high school, the 9 to 12, they are really good stakeholders in this. Because at the end of the day, we'll all be gone, and they'll be here. And I talked to them, told them about the plan. They also completed a survey as well. I had a meeting with the mayor. Since we talked, the mayor is all in with this. He's very supportive. He's supposed to have another meeting in the near future about it once we get stuff rolling, if you can. One-on-one meetings with individuals within the community. Done that. Some people want to talk to me one-on-one. I take all the meetings, come in, we talk, we hash out some stuff. Sometimes we end the meeting when we agree, we disagree. But everybody has their own feelings about what's going on and how to do things. And I had a meeting with the DOJ. Myself, Mr. Luciano, and Ms. Jackson, we all had a meeting with the DOJ for about an hour. And actually, that iPad right there is the DOJ watching the meeting. They wanted to watch the meeting as well. So I wanted to tell you that because there's nothing that we're trying to hide. We're trying to be as transparent as possible and try to get as much help from you as we possibly can. So, survey results. The survey was issued on the 19th of October. It was up for 11 days. We ended up getting 1,300 responses, 1,372 responses. That's what we got for 11 days. So, we asked a few questions on there. Change configuration of the elementary. 54.7% said no, 45.3% said yes. All right? Passive on. 51.2% said no, 48.8% said yes. Configuration of secondary campuses, 59% said no, 41% said yes. Students to pass a bond, 0% said no, 100% said yes. Now for the students, the high school principal helped me out and got the kids and let me meet with them. I went through the whole presentation with students. At the end of the presentation, a lot of them were saying, a lot of the seniors were saying, why couldn't we do this when I was a 9th grader? Because their thing was, how long will it take to build all this stuff, to do this? And you tell them and they say, well, we should have done this when I was in the 9th grade. Or we should have done this when I was in the 10th grade. That's what the seniors were saying, because they were like, they can't benefit from it. And then it's a very intelligent group of kids. They were like, well, we stay around here, we'll be able to benefit because we'll you'll stay around, we'll see it happen. So, survey results, questions and concerns. What will happen to abandoned buildings? With the plan that was presented, there will be no abandoned buildings. How did I get these questions? First off, they all came from the survey. I went through the survey, looked at all 1,300 responses, and found all the commonalities in the questions. That was one of the common questions that was asked in the survey, because they had additional comments. They said, what are we going to do with the abandoned buildings? We will not have any abandoned buildings. There will not be any. No building will be abandoned. Every building will be used that we have. So there's no eyesores in the community. As a matter of fact, we got plans to do something with cycles as well. It's just taking a little time. Are there any alternatives to central office? Yes. We just threw the initial information out there to see, because in the original plan that we threw out, we said Naylor will become central office. Is there a possibility that somewhere else will become central office? Yes. Reason why that one was thought of, because of money. Because it's not going to take much to make that a central office. Trying to put the money back into the schools. That's why. Can a new high school be built? With the money that we have, no. We have a max bond capacity of about 30 million. Okay? We have a max bond capacity of about $31 million. For a brand new high school, it's going to cost $44 million. And it's $46 million. It's $46 million for a brand new high school. That's counting no sports. If you add all the sports in, that's an additional $14 million. So that gets you to $60 million. $60 million. So $60 million. We have a bond capacity of $30 million, $31 million. We only have $7 million and some change in our savings account. We are far from $60 million. We're a long way. Can you get a loan? Yes, but we will not be able to get a loan for $60-something million. And if you get $60-something million, what about all the other schools and all the other needs that the other schools need? Because our plan has something to do with every single school. Because every school needs something, like bad. Is there an alternative plan if the bond does not pass? Yes. But it is a long plan. Because we do not have the money to fix all the things that we need fixed. There are a number of things that we need fixed. Like a lot of stuff that needs to be fixed at different buildings. So, these are some of the concerns. Make the district budget public. It is. We even have a budget hearing meeting in July. It's in July. And we invite the public in to give feedback on the budget. We make the budget is common knowledge. Middle and high school in the same building. The middle school, the plan is to move, the plan proposed moving where the kids are from middle school to the high school campus. The board, that's how this feasibility study came about. The board wanted to see if it was feasible to move the middle school children to the high school in the two-story building. They will not be in the same building. They're not in the same building. The kids will be in that building, the two-story building. All the high school kids will be over to the left, and that building will be added on, and that will be the high school. There will be a cafeteria built in the middle, along with a media center, and that will be the connection between the two buildings to go back and forth. That's how that will work. So they're not housed in one building altogether. It's not like that. Exceptional learners, meaning our exceptional kids, our special education children, they will get the same services that they've always gotten. Nothing will change. They will not be shortchanged. Closing magnet schools. No, the magnet schools will not be closed. The configuration of the magnet schools will not change. Not enough room if elementary changes. What that is talking about is the proposition was to say we have one pre-KK school, one first, second grade school, one third, fourth grade school, one fifth, sixth grade school, 7, 8, then 9, 12. Why do you say do that? Because it helps academically tremendously. It helps a lot. For one, there's a greater focus for the principal. If you look at D.M. Smith right now, D.M. Smith serves 3rd grade, 4th, 5th, and 6th. That's 4 grade spans for a principal to monitor. If you look at Parks services 8 grade spans. They service pre-K, kindergarten, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. The concept that we're trying to approach to is that the principal has less to focus on, but it'll be more extreme focus and it will help academically. And everybody will get the same treatment. Everybody will get the same thing, because sometimes you have a school that doesn't have a 3rd grade teacher or have a 4th grade teacher, but this school over here has all of that 3rd and 4th grade teachers, but this school doesn't. When we put everybody together, it makes it way more easier for the teachers to come together. It's way more diverse and it's way more focused for the kids to learn. That was the academic benefits. Transportation, there will be no problems with transportation. 0. Transportation will work fine. All right. You remember I told you about these issues? But I wanted to put that up there on the board for you. Those are not all the issues. Those are just the immediate big things that we really need to do right now. Period. Roof, walls, and paint. Those are the 3 biggest things that pyramid. Has anybody been in pyramid lately? All right. Has anybody been in D.M. Smith lately? The walls do not go all the way up to the ceiling. That's too noisy. That is loud. So we have to raise the walls all the way up to the ceiling. And then when you do that, we have to redo the HVAC. So that is a big process. But we need it. Along with the walls, the roof, we need a roof immediately at pyramid. Also the paint. And if you see all of these different things, you see how many roofs are on there? There are 3 roofs on there. A roof is very, very, very expensive. Very. The walls to go all the way up to the top, that is expensive as well. Because you have to reroute the HVAC. And as I said before, all of those things that's there, that's not everything. Those are just the big items. That's not everything. Some people look at it and they say something about the parking lot. Like a parking lot, yes. Has everyone been to the CTE building where the parking lot is? It's like mud when it rains. And our CTE building does not have any walls. So it needs a whole makeup of walls to go up. So the question was, what are we going to do if it does not pass? Well, immediately you got to replace the roofs. So every year we have to take a little bit to replace something. So where does that money come from? Out of our savings account. But everybody knows the simple thing about a savings account, if you keep taking money out and you don't put enough back in, you're going to run out of money, right? So we have to be very, very strategic on what we're trying to take out and what we're trying to do. Because if it doesn't pass, we're still going to have the problem. And we still got to fix it. So we just have to be strategic in which one we fix. I know for one, the first thing that has to be fixed on that roof, and Mr. Harrington would agree with me, would be Pyramid's roof. We got to fix Pyramid's roof. That's just, we got to do it. And I know some of you are probably saying, well, why is Cypress on there? Because that's still our building. It needs a roof, badly. It needs paint. It needs a floor. Because if you just let it keep going like that, it's going to get so much mold and mildew that it's going to be a hazard. So, I have talked enough. So, I want to hear your questions and comments to what you have to what we have. Take it. I don't know about microphone. Wait, I'm going to step aside. I got my mic.
Oh, okay. Well,
They can hear you. Okay, if you say your name.
my name is Arthur Holbrook. Most people know me as Tim Holbrook. And I've been in this district 38 years I retired in this district. My question, first of all, is I understand the financial difficulties we have here. But the thing is there ever an end point where we will stop putting good money after bad and build something that resembles a state-of-the-art facility for our students, especially our secondary students?
Good question. So my answer to that is, I don't know. Because our bond capacity and all of that depends on population and industry as well. If you don't know, last year we had a business to leave that took 200, 300 jobs away. So that has to do with our tax base and everything like that.
I want to comment on that. I think it's hardly anything. Anyway, 38 years I said I've been here. When I first came here, we had this building, Pierman, was just getting built. We had more industry than any.
There's a whole row, excuse me, can you turn around?
Okay. We had
Well,
more.
if you said it over there, I think everybody can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and the thing is that we had way more industry than we have now. We have had businesses to come and go, but we had more then. The reason I say this is because one of the reasons the businesses leave is because of the educational, I lose my thoughts I have. Okay. Sometimes I lose my thoughts. What I'm saying is that good schools are directly proportionate to industry and economic development. You say we don't have the industry left because we didn't use the money right in the first place. I remember we built these open concepts based on something that somebody heard about Florida. Okay? The second year I was in Cleveland, I came in 74. In 75, we started, we opened the schools at the high school, Cleveland High School, Margaret Green, where I taught. We opened the walls to allow them to be open. The next year, the district hired me to build the walls back. Because we did this, it was like how you jump into something without really getting the right information about it. We jumped into it, built these buildings, and then they were almost obsolete immediately. We found out that you could not have the right concentration in those classrooms with those kids yelling, throwing paper across their little classes. Even when I was a principal here 2 years, they had an 8-foot wall. The halls were, you're talking about putting up walls. There's a fire violation if we stop and think about it. Those walls, just like 5 feet apart, maybe 6. That's too crowded. I had to work out some kind of super plan for extracting kids for fire drills and stuff like that. Seriously, if the real fire occurs, there's going to be some heck to pay. Okay? So those are the things that I've been concerned about for years and years and years. I've begged the people, the powers that be, for us to go ahead and work out a plan to build a state-of-the-art situation for our secondary students. I came up with the idea of a secondary complex, not just a high school. I didn't say all in the same building, though, because I have a problem with that. It's junior high and high school being together. But my thing is the reason I'm here, I just wanted to hear what we were going to say, because that's a big thing to vote on a bond issue when I see the same thing happen. I remember when we renovated Cleveland High, I was teaching at the time. And the foundation, Cleveland High, the infrastructure would not even accept the technology we put in there. And I made the statement that, to renovate this high school is like giving a cadaver a heart transplant. And it's just not, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work, it's never gonna work. I think that there has to be some more research available. There has to be something else besides just saying, we can't do this and we can't ever do it, because you don't have any, and I understand, you can't understand, you can't give us an answer on how we can do it later, but there has to be something, there has to be some, have we ever researched any kind of federal grants for development of facilities?
Yes, some of them.
Okay.
I won't say all of them,
We need
there's
to-
grants out there.
We need to have a team working on that. This is just suggestions, and I don't know, I'm not a businessman or anything like that. I'm purely educator, and I care about what happens with these kids. I'm 68 years old, but I still care about those first graders. Still care about those seniors, and the elementary kids, all kids. But what I'm saying is, we hear these same stories, and it's a shame. Is any board member that I always wonder why they're not here to talk about these things. They sent you here, and I understand you are the superintendent, but there's a group above you that needs to answer these questions for us.
Well, some of them have other ranks, they have other committees.
Well, everybody here, maybe some other people have commitments too, but our biggest concern is what we're gonna do with this school district. And until we set our minds to it, sit down together and talk about it, and really focus on a problem, a solution to these problems, then I don't think we can do anything but kicking the rock down, the can down the road.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. All right. And I didn't say one part of it for Canton, not for Canton, but for Clarksdale. I also talked to the superintendent about that building that they had. Clarksdale had a high school that they built 20 years ago. 20 years ago, they built a high school. And it houses a max of 600 students. So 20 years ago, that building cost $20 million. So we would need a high school that would house, if we build a high school from 9 to 12, we would need a high school that houses at least 1,000 children. So we need one that is at least 1,000 children, that means it's almost double that. So the price that they quoted us for the high school is pretty on the spot. They quoted us $46 million. 20 years ago, a 600-student high school was $20 million in the area that's close to here. So that is pretty, with inflation for 20 years, that's pretty close, if not down. But I just want to add that.
Yeah, we've been begging for one a long time. We've been begging for when South Panola built a high school, building all that stuff for less than $1 million.
Yes.
We were begging for one then. But then, what was the excuse then? And then we had more industry here.
Yeah.
So I just don't get it why we keep putting this off and off and off and off. And it's not gonna get any better.
Other questions? I know.
I'm not trying to make it better, man.
He's gonna have to speak
For
up.
those of you who may not know, I came to Cleveland, Mississippi in 1972. Straight out of college. When I came to Cleveland.
Dr. Belcher.
Hold on. We bring him up here. Okay.
Yeah, we can't.
They got you a mic.
Yeah, try that.
Can you all hear me now?
Go ahead, Phil.
My name is Leroy Biles. I came to Cleveland in 1972, straight out of college from Alcorn State University. I coached here for 15 years. I left and went to Valley for 1 year. I came back to Eastside as the principal of Eastside High School. Now, I was listening to Mr. Holbrook as he was speaking, and you know, we have heard this year after year, and we have demanded, we even got the DOJ involved in this. And the DOJ made a decision, and I just want to ask, have the Department of DOJ been contacted on what we're trying to do here?
Yes, sir. Actually, they're on that iPad watching today, and we met with them for an hour and some change a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So that's the first thing we have to do before we start making decision here, is to make sure that the DOJ have been contacted, because they've already issued a mandate for the Cleveland, Mississippi School District. And this is what bothered me, because I talked to Shockey Bellway, which represent the schools that represent us rather, against the school district for the mandate that was made that these schools must be desegregated. I shouldn't say desegregated, because really, we already, for years and years and years, we have been the school on the east side of town and the school on the other side of town. Now, the DOJ have made a ruling, and that's why I asked, was the DOJ aware of what was going on here? And before we make any decision, some of us need to share our thoughts about what's going on. I was here in Cleveland for many years, and this same thing has been going on year after year. Now, the DOJ has made this decision, and that's why I was asking, because I don't think we should make a decision unless the DOJ is contacted and agree with what we are doing. Now, my problem is that, and I hope we're talking about the same thing, but my problem is that when I was in the meeting at Cleveland High, my understanding was they was going to build one high school. And I have a problem with that, because we have the land to build one nice high school. It's embarrassing for the school to come here and play us, and without the facilities we have. That was my major concern. Also, another concern was mine is that what we are talking about doing now, if I'm understanding correctly, what we are talking about doing now is not building another high school, but we are talking about improving the facilities at Cleveland High School. Now, my thought about that east side is to use high school. Will be years later after Cleveland High School. Now, my thought is, what we should do is build one state of the facilities out near Votech or some of the other 16 section land that the district had. And also, it kind of bothered me after thinking about it, that if the plan that we were talking about over at Cleveland High School, if we are going to build one high school, or if we're going to renovate Cleveland High School facilities, then we were gonna have to move the kids here at the East Side High School, which is now the junior high school, and move it over to Cleveland High School. Then those kids that are currently here at the East Side High School, then they would be housed on the east side of town of Cleveland High School, which that means that the kids that are currently at East Side High School will no longer be here. They will be moved over to the high school with the other students. Now, my concern is what's going to happen at East Side High School. We're going to lose all of our identity. And I don't really agree with that. But we know why they want to do this. We know why we want to do this. I don't have to spell it out. And that's wrong. It is wrong. The DOJ have made a decision, and I feel that we have no right to change this decision that have been made by the DOJ. For a long time in Cleveland, Mississippi, we have fought. We have fought to integrate Cleveland, Mississippi. And for some of you sitting here know exactly what I'm talking about. And it's not right. I've been talking to Shaka Delway, which represents the DOJ, and she called me and she asked me if I would be here tonight along with some other members that have fought to get these schools integrated. Now, the Cleveland School District has not been completely integrated. And it's time that our students on the east side of town is afforded the opportunities of enjoying a nice facilities. Now, you know what I'm talking about. I guess. So what's the reason? What's the reason now for not getting one high school, state-of-the-art high school? No, I can't. I just can't figure it out, but then when I was leaving home, something kept saying to me, black people matter. I just couldn't get it out from my mind. I started not to come tonight. I went home and I said, and my wife didn't want me to come. I may look healthy, but I have some underlying illnesses, which are ailments, I should say, which I shouldn't be in large crowds, but I just had to come out tonight to voice my thought. And I listened to Mr. Holbrook's thought. Now, we're gonna move the kids from on the east side of town and abandon the junior high and the high school and move them on the west side of town with one high school. But then my thought is, why spend all this money to update the facilities on the west side of town, which they've been doing Every year since I've been here, putting bandages on the building. Now, any school that perhaps would be able to accommodate the technology that we have today would be Eastside High School, because it was the last school that was built. And secondly, the money that's going to be put into the facilities over there at Cleveland High School really is going to be of such that this money perhaps would be a nice effort to build a new high school. Now, the children of Cleveland deserve this, and I should say the black kids of Cleveland deserve this. Now, even before I came here, we was giving hand-me-downs. Now, it's time to put an end to this, of these hand-me-downs. And I don't know how much to say we're going to have in the move that this continue to make. And I don't know if it's been shared with you, but the idea is to move the high school and the junior high to the west side of town. What's going to happen to Eastside High School? We have a heritage also. But, you know, I'm just going to be frank with you. You know why this is being done, and I may be wrong. Because as I pass the school day after day, and I see the kids over here, it doesn't seem like it bothers them. I also pass the football field when they're having a football game. It doesn't seem to bother those students. They seem to be enjoying themselves over here and getting along fine. And the DOJ have ruled that the Cleveland School District cannot continue to operate under the circumstances in which they will operate. So they made a decision. They made a decision that the Cleveland School District was not completely desegregated. I don't know why such an effort is being made here in Cleveland to continue this. Now, the kids over here are kids just like any other kid. And really, we're pretty much living school-wide, operating school-wide, the same way we did when I was in school at Coleman High School in Greenville. The kids deserve better. Ever since I came here, they've been putting band-aids and patches on these schools. You know, we play schools, we play schools out of Vicksburg and other places. Those people have real nice, up-to-date facilities. And I can't understand why we're constantly doing things year after year here in Cleveland, Mississippi. And I might as well say to keep the students, especially the black students, on the side of the track. And most of you in here know what I'm talking about. We have experienced this year in, we've experienced this year out, year in and year out. And it's time that we make a change. And I just had to get it off my conscience. Because if we gonna move the junior high school and the high school on the west side of the track, it's still, what's gonna happen over here to the east side, and especially I'm concerned about the east side, which is the current junior high school. What's gonna happen to East Side High School, the secondary high school? Because when the students are moving from here to the other side of town, we lost all our identity over here on the east side of town. Now, I have written out some things I wanted to share, but I left it at home, and I felt that I need to speak from the heart, because I've been here for a long time, and the same thing have been happening over again. The students in Cleveland, Mississippi deserve much more than they are being given. Why can't these kids from this side of town and the kids from the west side of town enjoy the same facilities? And I just had to speak my piece. When the DOJ made their decision about the Cleveland School District, that we would have one high school, then the white flight took place. And this is what it's all about. We might well be truthful about it. This is what it's all about here in Cleveland, Mississippi. And I was riding one day and I saw that they had completely redone the highway west of Cleveland. I said, wow, it's nice. So I just decided to go right and go down the highway, turn right, highway, then go down the highway. And I couldn't believe what my eyes were seeing. That academy down there is a state-of-the-art facilities. And I found out there were some businesses here that gave the school a huge amount of money. And I can witness that because that facility did not look anything like it's looking now. Now, we pay taxes, we support these stores here in Cleveland, these other businesses here in Cleveland, and they would rather take their money and put it in a facility that the kids could be very proud of. Well, we want the kids on this side of town to be proud too. They deserve it. And East Side's not a bad school. We had some students that graduated from East Side High School that are doing quite well. One is my daughter. She's an engineer. She makes, or I should say, she's in the six-figure category. And I can name tomorrow that I left East Side High School and doing quite well. And Mr. Holbrook and some of you in here can attest to that fact. But I told Shaki I would come tonight, and then I started not to come because my wife did not want me to come. But Shaki Bearway is going to call me, and that's why I just came anyway. And she's going to ask me, what did we talk about in the meeting? So I started not to come. I went home. I said, and I told my wife, I got to go back over there to this meeting because Shaki's going to asked me what we talked about in the meeting. So I apologize for being late, but I started not to come because I don't have a dog in this fight. By that I mean my kids graduated from Eastside High School years ago. And I just don't agree to what is being done to these kids in Cleveland, Mississippi. They deserve a state of our school. Because all life matters. You know, I get kind of upset that I have seen some of the things that have happened in this Cleveland school district over the years just to keep this school district from being completely integrated. You know, I understand some leaders here in Cleveland put an extremely large amount of money in those kids that took white flight from Cleveland. And that's not right because we patronize these bids too. And then I understand that we said, well, I talked enough. I won't even say it. But, you know, these kids over here, they mean a lot to me, and they deserve better than what we're showing them. They deserve better than what we are showing them. So I was saying, that's why I asked the superintendent at the department of the DOJ, I would rather say, had DOJ understood what is taking place here in Cleveland, because I have to go back and I have to report to Shaka about this meeting and what was said in this meeting. And I apologize for getting here late because I started not to come. Because in my understanding, any decision we make has to go through the DOJ because they have already mandated a decision about the Cleveland School District. So regardless of whatever we say here, whatever we're gonna do here, they're definitely gonna have to go back through the DOJ. And Mr. Herbert shared some things with you all that I'm not going to repeat. But anyway, I thank you for letting me have this time. I've talked enough because my mouth is dry. Okay, y'all have a blessed night.
After some of the things Coach said, he said something about the school, where the current middle school is. That would be an upper elementary school, be an upper fifth and sixth grade school. So it would not be an abandoned building. And what does that mean? That means that all fifth and sixth graders go there. Because you brought up some good points about integration. That means everybody goes there. All fifth and sixth graders go to that one school. And that helps us a lot with teachers. And let me tell you what that means. Sometimes in a district you have the haves and the have-nots, which means that one school is stacked up with all their teachers. This other school doesn't have all of their teachers. So this one school may have every third and fourth, fifth grade teacher that they need. This school right here has some of that third and fourth and fifth grade teachers and some subs. So you got a sub teaching third grade. That's not really good. But if you put everybody together, that makes your vacancy list shrink. So is that good for academics? Yes. Very good for academics. And it's way more diverse. So it does do what Coach was talking about. It helps with the diversity a lot. Any other questions?
Yeah, I want to say now, what we are attempting to do now was not effective for elementary school. Because, you had the schools have a school of choice. And I understand it, to my understanding, I have not witnessed this or been down there, because this is not a problem. This is not a problem for the elementary school, because, they have a choice. They can either go to the school down at Bowl, or they can go to Cleveland over here. So those kids are really not affected. They are really not affected. It's just this secondary level and the high school level, which is junior high in high school.
Can I comment on one other thing?
Yes, sir.
About the DOJ, we had an hour and some change long meeting with the DOJ. We actually invited the DOJ to come to the meeting tonight. They couldn't make it. But they plan on coming to do a meeting themselves.
Okay.
So they're planning on coming here as well. So like I said, we're not doing anything wrong. One of my questions, as Ms. Luciano and Ms. Jackson tell you, I asked them straight up, I said, are we doing anything wrong? They said, no, you're not. We asked them straight. Am I doing anything wrong? No, you're not. You're doing what you're supposed to do.
Who said that?
The DOJ.
Okay.
Ask them straight. But no, I don't like to go around the mulberry bush. No gray. Just black and white for me. Just, am I doing something wrong? No. You're not doing anything wrong. All right. Say, y'all would like to come to the meeting tonight. They said, we cannot come, but we're going to have to set something up so that we can have a meeting. And they're going to come and have their meeting.
Okay.
Ms. Holmes, you had a question? I think, did you? We have like 2 minutes.
Okay, now while they are coming,
Good evening, everyone. How are you? My name is Mark Thompson. I'm a graduate of Eastside High School, the class of 1978. My husband is a graduate of Eastside High School in 1975. My 2 daughters graduated from Eastside High School, one in 2000, the other in 2006. My oldest daughter is Dr. Kiana Dorsey. She practices in Rolling Fork, Mississippi. Proud mom. My other daughter works at the tax assessor's office. But anyway, to make a long story short, Mr. Byers, there are very successful people. I can stand here and run off names off the top of my head. Dr. Evan Searcy, Dr. Leon Ware, Dr. Carr Allen, Dr. Eugene Allen, just run off names. Dr. Smith, Craig Smith, OBGYN in Alabama, Mr. Holbrook's daughter, Nikki, but even though she matriculated Cleveland, but I still, because she lives in our neighborhood, she's our child. We looked after her. We did. She and my niece matriculated Mississippi State together. But to say all of that, I would like to hear, I think at the last meeting, some of the white participants did speak. It's more personal for us, I believe, I feel, as if on the east side. And there's a reason for that. Mr. Byron said he came in 72, I'm gonna make it short. Mr. Holbrook said he came in 74. The year that Mr. Byers came, I was 7th grade. Guess what? We were all at East Side. Everybody was at East Side High School from 7 to 12. Am I right, Mr. Byers? Mr. Holbrook came as our PE teacher. So, there are things that I remember also. We had a good structure, high school. I guess when things work too well, you have to tweak them. Oh, it's going too good. No, let's do something else. And I think Mr. Byers knows what I'm talking about. We've been through this so many times in my lifetime. And it's time for whatever it is that people are feeling and thinking. We need to look at what's best for the children that's got to go forth in this community, the best. I hear the superintendent say, well, we don't have the infrastructure, we don't have the money. I hear all of that. But, as Mr. Byers said, and I stated in the last meeting, to take monies to prop up a 100-plus-year-old school and just create a beautiful facade, it does not make practical sense, money-wise. And Mr. Byers, as to what you said, the west side of it, I noticed, I said I was going to go to the next city board meeting because I wanted to know why doesn't, from Highway 61 at Exxon back east, doesn't look like the west side. No one else is probably may not have noticed. Did you all know that this has nothing to do with the school board, but they're putting out new lights all along 61. They stop at a certain point. They stop at Family Dollar to the south. And they go up to Captain D's, or maybe a little further to the north. Look at your city. Look at where your money is going. People, we need to speak up. There's money in this city. So from Highway 61 and 8 at the intersection of Walgreens, west to Delta State, if you do what you say you're going to do with the high school, and for better lack of use of words, the only thing I can say is you want to create eye candy from Cleveland High west to make it look good. That's a personal opinion, but I think it's an observation that may need to be noted, and maybe no one else has thought about it. Now you look at it. You start at Bayou Road, back from west. Just drive and look at it at night in the daytime. So you're gonna take this $30 million, or whatever it is you're proposing, to do all this renovation to Cleveland High. You're gonna have this big, fabulous looking complex when people drive into Cleveland and say, this is our high school and we're proud of this and da 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 da, because you want everything else that to help make everything else look good too. You're pretty much saying, hey, this school is just, it doesn't represent us. It needs to be fixed up. It doesn't go along with the Grammy Museum and everything else that goes along the West. But guess what? That's the way it is unless we come up with a better plan. I just don't think that we should invest more money into those facilities. And I said this at the first meeting because I was there, or the second, I don't know whichever. It's not, we've got to come up with a better plan. A much better plan. And as Mr. Byron stated, yes, we all have history. I understand the history of Cleveland High. You know, I didn't go to school there, but we had friends there. I understand all of that. But we need to sit down and come up with a plan and fix all of what's going on in this school district. But it's almost impossible because of the underlying facts. And I'm just going to say the word of racism. That's what it boils down to. Plain and simple. When Mr. Holbrook talked about these schools, our schools were used, no. These schools were built, especially this one, which opened in the fall of 1975, 76, I believe. Who would ever open concept school? They first experimented with Native. We were the first class. Tore down all the walls in the school. Can you imagine how noisy that is? They took the gym and changed it with partitions, making individual classrooms. So we didn't have a gym. Naylor had a gym. We had PE. We had all of that. But somebody, some smart person, say, no, it's working too well. Let's experiment with this and try open concept. Open concept didn't work. Now, the superintendent said they need walls. Can you imagine? What if they had built walls 30 and 40 something years ago? Would we be going through this? I doubt it. I think they put the walls back. No. They rebuilt part of Naylor. They tore down part, so they have walls. So the issue is walls. Can you imagine? What smart person would tear down the walls? But anyway, we need to come up with a better plan.
Yeah.
And I just think that we can do better than what we're doing. And there's plenty of 16 section land in Cleveland. We just need to find it and come up with the money. Maybe we need to have a raffle or do something. We got to come up with this money. I don't know how. We're going to do a lot of praying. But, hey, the present plan isn't it. And that's all I have to say. Thank you all very much.
Mr. Bell, I ask something to you and with the body. You know, in 1969, the Desegregation Act was passed. That all the schools had to be desegregated. Every 10 years, they came back to check. And they came back here. In 79, Cleveland School District had not been completely desegregated. They came back in 79, 89, keep up with 89. The system still had not been desegregated. 99, the system had not been desegregated. So that's why, I got so emotional. And then that's why DOJ group that we had to go to one high school, one junior high school, and etc. But if you go from 1969, 89, and I'm proud in 99, if you look at it, they can still rule that the three school districts have not been desegregated. And that's why I got so emotional when I was speaking. What is the problem that we cannot desegregate the system the way other districts have done? And see, and the thing I feel is happening now is the same thing. You know, we're talking about building one high school where we're talking about taking these kids out of junior high school
you, Home.
Dr. Phelps, if I may, it won't take me but a minute. I think the elephant in the room is there's a lot of distrust from this side of town with the other side of town. I told you when you were new here, you didn't know all that had come and gone and all that good stuff. But I think the bottom line is there's a lot of distrust because the east side of town feel like they have been mistreated, neglected, and told promises and promises not being kept. I know, I tell you, a lot of times the speaker did say, well, when this all first came about, when this feasibility study all came about, it was first said that there was a study was being done to find land to build a 7th and 8th grade school so that the kids would have to go to school over here because the white kids didn't want to go over here. Just tell me what the street community said, okay? So with all this being said and done, the elephant in the room is that there's a lot of distrust. And if you were to float a bond right now, I really don't think it would pass on the east side of town. Truth be told.
And to give you a close, because we're over, I didn't want to keep this long. I'm not from it. So I don't have either side. I'm not either side. I'm in the middle. So all of these deficiencies that you see that came up on the board, I have no clue about all this stuff. We're discovering things, we're trying to fix it. So I'm not on anybody's side. I'm the only side that I'm on is for the kids. That's it. That's all who I'm for.
But see, it's so much distrust that it has been said that board members, I can vouch that it wasn't me. Board members had told this industry that you all had come into to do the business, what to say, what to look for. I'm just telling you, okay? So with all that being, how do we get past this? How do we get past the distrust? How do we get past the lies and the dishonesty? How do we get past this? Now I came here in '81. I came to the east side in '81. And it's always been a difference in the east side of town and the west side of town. And for all these years, how do you get past it?
It's going to take time.
It's going to take time.
It's going to take time to people sticking to their word.
And you're going to have to put people in place that both sides trust.
Anytime, you just make it. Come on, make your decision. I got your thing. Okay. So, I take this woman, he's been trying to pass it for a long time.
Don't try to be short, because I know everything you said, and we hold our things. Now, I seen the survey that went out. By the way, my name is Jimmy Washington. I also was administrator in this district, went to school in this district from Cleveland, Mississippi. And I've been in lots of districts. I've been principal in lots of districts. In every district I've been in, I've been principal in Hudson County, principal in Coahoma County. And all of those schools in the communities, they're smaller than Cleveland School District, and they have better facilities than we have here in Cleveland. I was here principal also at Neil Smith Middle School, which is open concept. But make a long story short, with the survey, I saw the survey was pretty close when it came to the high school being one high school, maybe 40-something to 50-something. And then with the kids, our students who are our future, and we're talking about they are our future, we should be investing in our future. If the kids are our future, so then if they want one high school, why is it that we don't try to make a way for that to happen? All the students in Cleveland, black, white, or whatever, brown, whatever color, we have one state-of-the-art high school as we were stating, and make it happen. If Clydesdale can do it, and I was here when Clydesdale did that high school, even though I was principal at Coahoma County High School, that facility is better than Cleveland School District facility. So, if it's going, I guess my question is, when you do the, try to float the bond, is that bond is going to be for one state-of-the-art high school, or are they going to try to do the
renovation? It's renovation.
Renovation?
It's a renovation. It's an add-on to renovation.
I'm just saying, I'm not for that. If we're going to be for our children, I'm talking about Cleveland children, we need one high school, one state-of-the-art high school, and we need to find a way to make that happen.
Yes,
because instead of going back and forth, it's not benefiting our students. And our kids can see this. Why can't we adults see this? Why can't the adults in this community see this? We need to be thinking about our children. The children are our future, that we need to invest in our children. Thank you.
Yes, sir. And one thing, Mr. Luciano got an email from the DOJ, like I told you, they were watching. And so they wanted him to clarify something.
Yeah, guys, sorry, Arnold Luciano, I'm the attorney for the Cleveland School District, if some of you know, some of you don't know. Just to address one of your points, that whole time, the DOJ was watching, Ms. Shakti Beltway was watching. I made sure, like he said, we met with them before the community meeting. They were aware that this meeting was taking place. They were online. With that being said, I was constantly corresponding with Ms. Beltway, the DOJ, and everything of that nature. Just to clarify, to make sure, in case anybody may misinterpret or misthinks what's going on, there's nothing definite here. There's no plan to do this, A, B, C, D. As we go forward, we are working with the DOJ. We're working with Ms. Beltway. Everything that ever takes place, before we can ever move forward, we have to go back before the court. We have to go back with the DOJ's approval. So we can't take a step as the Cleveland School District and go contradictory to the DOJ's efforts, go contradictory to Ms. Beltway, go contradictory to the court. We understand there's that court ruling, and so we can't do anything without them and their cooperation. If we take an action, if the Cleveland School District takes an action contradictory to that order, that would be dumb. That would be stupid. So we can't do that. We have to work with Ms. Beltway. We have to work with the DOJ, and that's exactly what we're doing at this time. And so they were watching the whole time, and we're working with them, getting them information from the feasibility study, getting them information from the community. And so they just wanted me to make sure you understand. They're working with us, and they understand that we can't do anything without y'all's support. So just to clarify, it's not the one action that's going forward. It's with you guys.
And in closing, I always love quotes. I heard quotes all over my office. Says the price of greatness is responsibility. Winston Churchill. And if the bond does not pass, we still have those list of major items. So I am still working on Plan B. Because we still have to fix it. At the end of the day, those things have to be fixed. Now, it'll be a longer process to fix them, as in years, to fix a lot of those problems, because we do not have the cash to fix all those things at one time. But they have to be fixed, regardless. Regardless of what happens with the bond, those immediate impact things that we had on the board, they have to be fixed. And they just didn't happen. They've been there for a while. So we just got to fix it. So I appreciate you all coming out. We're going to have another one in January. Good questions tonight. And I appreciate y'all coming out in the cold, and have a good night.
I have one question. It's not a question for everybody to answer, but something to tell somebody, just to have on your mind. What's going to happen to our history? H.F. Nails, I know I'm late, and I may have missed it, in Eastside High School. It's just a question I want everybody to have on your mind. What's going to happen to our history? H.F. Nails and Eastside High School.